All right, welcome to the Let It Fly show inside the Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District. I am Michael Severe, joined by former Creighton Blue Jay and Central Eagle, Josh Jones.
It's been a minute,
What's up,
bro?
man? Yeah, you weren't in Vegas, man.
I know, man.
You know, I ain't have fun like some people did. You know, I go there and just do my own thing. Not like some. I certainly at no point while I was there was coming back in when the sun was up and was spotted by the AD of the university. At no point did that happen to me. It may have happened to other people, but it was not me.
Yeah, right.
Somebody, but not me. Let's again, Let It Fly Sports Bar, Capital District, elevated experience when you're talking about sports and a sports bar, all these TVs. Just a little while ago, I was talking to who's going to be our guest coming up. I was talking to his mom, and she goes, "This place is amazing,
man."
And that's what everybody says. She was here early on,
but it is one of them places.
Because the first time we interviewed him, we were over at her.
But every time you walk in here, you can never get used to it.
It's overwhelming.
It is.
It is overwhelming. Yeah, there's so much to do though. Friday, so we got a bunch of bowl games happening. Yeah. There's a bunch of NFL, a bunch of bowl games. Friday, you got the Gasparilla Bowl.
What is that? So
Gasparilla is named after a pirate.
Okay.
And it's in Tampa, where you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it's Georgia Tech and UCF. That's in Raymond James Stadium. That's Friday, 5:30. If you want to come out, you want to check that out. Right. Then they got 2 NFL games to check out. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, Bills and Chargers. That all starts at 3:30. I tell people all the time, if you're going to come out for an NFL game or a big college Saturday or whatever, reserve your seats. Yeah. Because the tables go fast, man. You have on Saturday 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bowl games. Dang. They start at 11 a.m. Yep. And the last one, Val's all stressed out. They 11 a.m.
a lot of bets.
to 9:30.
That's crazy.
11 a.m. to 9:30.
That's crazy.
That last one is in Hawaii.
Wow.
The Hawaii Bowl. Yeah. East Coast and Carolina and San Jose State. That's a late game at 9:30. Yeah, you got famous Idaho. Let me ask you, where do you think these games are located? Well, this is a good day for that. The Birmingham Bowl.
It got to be in Alabama.
It's in Birmingham.
Yeah.
The famous Idaho Potato Bowl
is in Idaho.
It's in Idaho. Yeah. That's funny because most of them have weird names. Now you have the Armed Forces Bowl.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you who's in it, though.
Who?
Air Force.
Wow.
Because it's the Armed Forces Bowl. It makes a lot of sense. Sure, now, this is the one, 68 Ventures Bowl. Makes I don't even know what 68 Ventures is. Okay. But it's actually in the home of South Alabama. Okay. And South Alabama actually is in the game. Gotcha. So it's a home field advantage for them against Eastern Michigan. Right. And then the Las Vegas Bowl. Yeah. Where's that?
That's in Vegas.
That's in Vegas. That's right. You got Utah and Northwestern.
Yeah, and this is like not by coincidence, obviously. Right.
No. It's, And then you got the Hawaii Bowl, as I mentioned. That one's late night on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. The biggest game probably of Sunday is Dallas and Miami. Yep. Because neither now. So this is crazy. Both teams have 10 wins. Yeah. Okay. It is the first time in the history of the NFL that 2 teams have met. Right. Mm-hmm. That add up to 20 wins or more.
First time in history.
That have 0 wins, 1 or fewer wins against a team with the winning record.
I know.
So both teams
sound like Dallas Cowboys and me.
Have been frauds for the most part. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So whoever wins this one can say, "Hey, I'm not a fraud anymore because I beat a team with a winning record."
It's like the records is cool. Have you ever heard the phrase of somebody saying like you got people that's trash and there's golden trash? You just a gold trash bag.
It's like, who have you beaten? Yeah. That's the question. Right. Well, for those 2 teams, really nobody. Right. So now they play each other. So that's the biggest game. Right. And that'll be right here at 3:25. And then the next day, Val, are they open Christmas? Now open Christmas, closed on Christmas. So you got to watch those games from home. They got 3 games
for sure.
on Sunday. Yeah. I do kind of like what the NFL does in terms of holidays.
What's that?
Because they're like, if you have family members over, right, and you want them to leave, because sometimes you do on a holiday, you want to leave. Yeah. You turn football games on. You're like, look, you can stay here and watch the game with me, or you can leave.
Or you can be super old school, like some of the people in my family, and the game will be on, but no volume.
Oh, man. Yeah. No volume?
No volume.
Okay, well,
Then there's me.
Yeah, I mean, I got my headphone in.
Then there's me.
Every week, we highlight an item on the menu. Yep. And I'm always trying to look for new things on the menu so we can highlight them.
Or it's like Martin, a wish sandwich.
A wish.
I wish I had a sandwich.
My grandmother, you could not ask my grandmother what we were having for dinner.
Man.
because I try to explain this to my wife and my kids. If you ask my grandmother what we're having for dinner, she say wish pudding and walk away pie.
Yeah.
You whoosh and you need to walk away.
Yeah, you feel me?
And that's the way it was. But I will tell you that one of the newest items on the Let It Fly menu is the poutine.
Okay.
Now, I'm not from Canada, but I like poutine enough to say I'm kind of Canadian.
I've never ate it, bro.
Oh, so poutine is simple. French fries or some sort of fried potatoes.
Oh, I ate that.
And cheese curds.
Yeah, I've never.
With brown gravy on top of it. It is a mess.
I've never ate that, no.
But it is so good. I describe it on here with French fries.
Okay.
Wisconsin cheddar cheese curds. Now, I would rather a white cheese. I like a mozzarella. I like a provolone. But that's fine. Cheddar cheese curds, bacon, chives, and a homemade gravy.
I'm gonna try that.
I think we're gonna get a plate brought up here in a little while, but that's the newest thing on the starters menu, so you can check that out.
That's what's on it.
That's what's on there. Yeah. Coming up on the show today, we're gonna look back at a really bad loss for Creighton.
Yeah.
We're gonna look back at, and I shouldn't say a bad loss for Creighton, not a really bad loss, but a bad loss for Creighton. We're going to look back at Nebraska and recruiting and what they did on signing day, or at least the first day of the early signing day period. And our guest is, I think, our first time we've had a person on the second time.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It is.
So Jaylen Lloyd, wide receiver for the University of Nebraska, of course, graduated from Omaha Westside, won state championship last year. He's going to join us to chat more about his season, how his freshman year went. He was one of two guys in the entire Big Ten to have 3 touchdowns over 50 yards. Dang. It's Jaylen Lloyd, young buck from Omaha Westside,
right,
and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right.
That's pretty good.
That's
what they call that? Good company.
That's great.
That is really good company. But first, I want to do 3 big stories. It's a new thing I didn't tell you about. 3 big stories. We're going to do that for each show. Yeah. And the first big story is, and I think it is the biggest one, because Nebraska getting Dylan Raiola.
Yeah.
And not just that. Not only did they get Dylan Raiola, they managed to keep Daniel Kaline, because he could have easily said, I'm going someplace else.
Right. So he's the one that the $1.5 to $2 million quarterback, huh?
I don't know. I don't think it costs that. I think it's that much money if you were going to bring in a portal guy.
Gotcha.
I think if you wanted to get Cam Ward, who was successful in college, and then you get him to come here, I think he's that guy he's talking about.
Right.
If I had to guess, I think Dylan Raiola probably gets about 750.
Yeah, I'm about to say if he balling, you got to give him at least.
Yeah, and he's obviously not the starter yet. He hasn't had a chance on campus yet, but he did get just today reporting. We're taping this on Thursday. Yep. He has a endorsement with a card company.
Okay.
So he's going to have his own football cards.
Man.
And he got that, so that's going to be good for him, along with everything else that the university and 1890 provides. Here's what Matt Rule said about how everything turned, because I think it was December 11th. So December 10th, December 11th, the thought we all had was Kyle McCord is going to come in, the Ohio State quarterback, probably transfer to Nebraska, and then they'll have a quarterback for this year, and we'll see what happens with Daniel Kaline or whatever else. All of a sudden, phone call comes from Dylan Raiola to Matt Rule. Matt Rule said in his press conference, Dylan called last Sunday and just said, hey, coach, my heart keeps telling me to come to Nebraska.
Because he kept listening to me.
While Kyle McCord was in town for that.
That's crazy.
I always thought Dylan would go to Georgia, stay a year, not play, and then be like, I'm going to Nebraska. Anyway, kind of like what Quinn Ewers did when he went to Ohio State and then went to Texas. But not that. Coming here as a freshman.
Right.
The biggest get, most people will tell you, I argue that Ndamukong Suh is a bigger get because of the level of athlete he was coming out of high school.
I can see that.
But Tommy Frazier, the best comparison would be getting a guy who takes you from being a good team to being a great team.
Right, but it's also a circumstance where, like, is that family ties.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, like, that, I mean, I understand that, like, you can go find a $1.5, $2 million quarterback, man. But when you know what you got just looking at your own family, I might, have to make a decision and take that over that. That's just me.
And it's a 3-year, and I'm going to say 3 years because if he's as good as they think he is, that's how long he'd be here, 3 years. It's a 3-year thing. Well, Kyle McCord was a year.
Yeah.
He was going to come here, see how he did, go to the NFL.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense. But the guy that I admire in all of this, though, is Daniel Kaline.
Okay.
Because too many times, and we've seen this, when a challenge comes, nowadays, and go look for something else.
Right.
Instead of that, he said, I'm going to take the challenge. I'm going to stay here. Yep. I'm going to compete with Dylan Raiola. I don't care if he's a 5-star, number 1 ranked quarterback. I don't care about any of that. I'm going to compete with him. And he decided to do it because he could have, he called Michigan State.
Yeah.
He was going to go for a visit. They probably would have took him. Yep. This is an Elite 11 quarterback.
Right.
But instead he said, no, man, this is my home.
But does politics play a point in that? Like, I'm balling out, I'm doing my thing, and then I look and I'm like, oh, man, your uncle is the offensive line coach. Like, is it? Do you feel like? I
don't think so. I think I think Matt Rule
gonna play the
based
best?
off what we know. This sport is a meritocracy. You earn what you get.
Sure.
And I think if he at any point looked out on the practice field and it said to him that Daniel Kaline gave him a better chance to win, I think he'd play him because you know why?
Yeah.
I don't want to get fired.
Right.
He don't want to get fired. Nobody wants to get fired.
No, right.
So I'm gonna play the best guy to keep you from getting fired.
Football, you got a shorter window.
It is a little window, and I think that's what they told Daniel Kaline. They said to him, "Listen, Daniel. Yes, we're bringing in the top quarterback in the country, but if it goes like we expect it to go, you redshirt your first year. Dylan plays his first year. Your second year is his." Getting ready. Yeah. And then, so by the time he leaves, you still got 3 years left.
Amen.
2 years left. So, I think that's what it's about. That's definitely the big story.
Yeah.
And Nebraska did a lot in recruiting overall. Yeah. They got a bunch of kids from Texas, which they wanted to do. Yeah. Got a bunch of local guys. Mm-hmm. The thing that always made me laugh was how many people believe that Nebraska doesn't have any talent. The state of Nebraska has no talent.
Right.
And I can tell you, maybe they don't have guys whose names are big because they're from the state of Nebraska.
Right.
But you look around the league, you see Nebraska guys all over the place.
Super Bowls.
Yeah, going to Super Bowls, making a team. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because one thing is, a lot of those guys had to work harder to get where they were. Yeah. And so they value a little bit more.
And that's why winning changes everything. If you win, those same guys that's still sustaining stuff will have a bigger glow.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Why you got to slam the door? Phil McClain, who is our executive producer of the show, is bringing in the poutine we talked about earlier. And I was telling Josh about it. So that's what it looks like. This is the brand new poutine.
Thank you, Phil.
So you not only have the French fries, I mentioned Wisconsin cheese curds, right? Bacon and chives, and then this homemade brown gravy. I'm gonna take a piece right here.
For sure. You might end up having to take that one home, bro.
Oh man, that gravy's good.
You caught it, so you don't have to take it.
That gravy's good. You got to get some gravy on there. Get a little gravy on there. My worry always with poutine is that the gravy's too salty. Too many times I've gotten it because your problem is you had a salty French fry and you have a gravy, so your gravy can't be as salty.
Salt and salt.
Yeah, this is good. So this is a brand new item on the Let It Fly menu. Check that out. Number 2, big story. Creighton falls to Villanova.
Yeah.
Now, they had good company because Marquette lost and UConn lost. So the top 3 teams in the Big East opened up their Big East season by losing. And Seton Hall beat Connecticut by 15.
Yes.
Providence beat Marquette by 15.
Right.
And obviously, Creighton lost in overtime by 2 to a UConn team, to a Villanova team that just, I want to say this, and I don't want to not insult anybody. Their culture won that game.
For sure.
That is who Villanova is. Mm-hmm. They've been that way forever. They grind, and they will grind you down, and they will make you play their game. Yeah. And they will have somebody in that game that's going to have a great game. At least one guy for them all the time. It's their culture.
But remember last year, it seemed like, and I had a conversation about it, and I'm not trying to really keep putting it out there like that because it's evident to see, but it looks like Dixon has Kalkbrenner's number.
Yeah. They can pull him away from the basket. You can do everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, talking to Coach Jalen Courtney Williams, he was just kind of saying that it's one of those things where, in a sense, in that weakness, they're trying to navigate through picking the poison. So if you pull Kalkbrenner through away from the basket, now you got other guys that can make plays and you don't got no shot blockers. Yeah. Or if Dixon is out there on the basket, he makes his own play.
He does. He's got good footwork.
Yeah, he does.
He's a 5th-year senior.
Yeah, he worked hard.
He out there looking like he's in the NBA, like Olajuwon with his footwork. 3, I used to do a segment back in the old show called the stat of the game, right? Yeah. It was one stat that defined the game. I'm going to give you 3 stats.
Come on.
You tell me which one you think defined the game.
All right.
1, Baylor Shimerman going 0 for 7 from 3. First time the guy hadn't had a 3-point shot since he's been at in a game that didn't have a three-point make since he's been here. That's number one.
All right.
Number two, points in the paint. Again, Villanova 38-28 by 10. Over the last three games, the Jays have been outscored in the paint 138-92. That's 16 a game.
Right.
So that's another stat. Or the last one I give you, Creighton, 16 turnovers to Villanova's 8 turnovers. And it wasn't a huge, it's only 5-point difference in points off turnovers. But as you know, that ends a possession, it ends momentum. So was it the turnovers? Is it Shireman struggling? Or is it the points in the paint? Which cost in the game the most?
I think that it was, if I have to pick one, I say that it was a turnover.
See, I'm with you. I think turnovers.
The reason why is because even with those points in the paint, it still was a ball game.
Yep.
I do feel like Villanova was getting any and everything they wanted. In the first half, I felt like Creighton had a great scheme.
And they're up by 10.5.
Yeah. Creighton was, I mean, the gel was gelling, in the first half.
Yep.
But on the same token, Villanova was stuck to what was working. Well, I mean, they stuck to the game plan of what wasn't working. They stuck to it. It wasn't working.
Yep.
And then in the second half, it ended up working. And then there was a period where Creighton couldn't score at all.
Yep.
Where our team couldn't score. And so in the midst of all those turnovers, every single time there was a turnover, Villanova capitalized.
I think Villanova scored 12 straight points.
Yeah, they capitalized every
12
single time.
straight points,
So that was the difference.
Yeah.
Also, when I think about Shireman and going 0-4 whatever, like most people have nights, but I think him having a night like that came to him kind of like, I don't think he was.
Excuse me.
He wasn't forcing it. He was taking the shots he normally takes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he just wanted it so bad, But then also, overall,
missing free throws at the end didn't help too.
I was about to say that.
Missing 1-and-1s.
I was about to say,
you can't do that.
There was a few that were missed that were very crucial. Because at the end of the day, it's like no matter overall what decided the game, you had a chance to win it.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
And to me, I always say all you got to do is just put a forearm or just be aggressive and actually touch a Creighton player, and you got a chance to win.
Well, UNLV did that. UNLV was very physical from the first play of that game. Yeah. On the other hand, Alabama tried to be. Yeah. But it was decoy defense, though. Like, you can be in somebody's face and really not do it. It's like all bark with no bite. That was Alabama. Yeah.
They were aggressive. They picked them up 94 feet.
Yeah, they outscored Creighton in the paint. Off memory, I think it was like 62-38.
But I wonder
they really had success inside.
Was that because they bring Kalkbrenner out and the guards go one-on-one? I forgot what that was.
They were doing a lot of driving to the basket, a little layup line. So
you know what else I thought was good conversation?
What?
Talking to Stephen Ashworth. Everybody harps on his statistics from last year shooting threes.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I found myself like all I've been doing is listening to those conversations and saying, hey, I'm waiting for him to come alive.
Right.
But he gave a good perspective yesterday where he was explaining basically like, I'm a playmaker.
Yeah.
I'm not a shooter. Like, shooting is something that I can do if I need to or if I'm in a position of rhythm. But overall, man, I'm just trying to go out there and hoop and react off an instinct. And so with me, it makes me look at him a lot different because he's not out there. He's not in his own mind thinking if I don't hit a three that it matters or don't matter. He's just trying to make.
He's got to get everybody else involved. Yeah. He does. Yeah.
So I see him totally different from his own perspective.
Nice. The third big story is Nebraska basketball and what they've done since they lost to Creighton and had a horrible second half against Minnesota.
Yeah.
They beat Michigan State. They beat Kansas State. Now, they had a rough game against North Dakota. Yeah. As of this taping, it was yesterday. They had to come back from being down, but they won that game.
Right.
Here's the position they're in right now.
Yep.
If they beat the last of their non-conference games, it's against South Carolina State.
Yep.
So they should win it. That means they would start through the first 13 games 11-2.
Hoiberg.
Do you know what year the last time Nebraska started 11-2?
19.
No.
Dang.
No. So
it's modern
more
day.
recent. Yeah, more recent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, 11-2. Let me think.
They started 11-2.
I'll say Jason Deruso days.
So that was like 05, 06.
06.
So It's 20 years to this year.
Okay.
03, 04, they started 11-2.
Okay.
2003 to 2004, that season,
So
they started 11-2.
Charles Richardson and guys like that. Okay.
Yeah, and they were balling that season, and they had a good season. But it just shows you. And then they start their conference season against Indiana, who struggled a little bit. They almost lost to Morehead State, right? So you're talking about a team that has an opportunity. Now it's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Big Ten's loaded.
Where are they at right now in the rankings with in the Big Ten?
Well, they're 1-0 in the Big Ten because they
They
played.
only played one conference game.
They played Michigan State.
That's it. Okay.
They played Michigan State.
Yeah.
And so they always do that little bit where they play one of those conference games.
I consider them like.
Yeah.
So all right. So what's a few games that they just won? You said Michigan
they beat
State,
Michigan State, Kansas State, and then they struggled against North Dakota, but they beat North Dakota.
Okay, so they to me are 3-1. They losing to Creighton and winning another 2 games.
Yeah.
The other games before was confidence boosting.
They have, besides Purdue is the only other team right now in the Big Ten that has 10 wins.
Dang.
Nebraska's 10-2. Purdue is 10-1.
Man.
They get Indiana to kick off the conference slate. If they can win that game, it'll be the best start they've had in forever.
What does it take for the basketball world to put some respect on Nebraska's name as a team?
Well,
what win?
They play. So if I remember the schedule right, they play Indiana, Iowa, Purdue, I believe.
Okay.
I think that's right. And check. If they beat Purdue, they would certainly get some respect. That would do it by far.
Okay.
Let me make sure. So they play Indiana. Oh, they play Wisconsin, then Purdue.
Ooh.
Then it's Iowa. So you got to play Indiana, who's not played well. A top 25 Wisconsin. You win that game, you're going to get some respect.
I think if they go,
and then they play number 1 Purdue.
If they go 2-1 in that.
So those 4 games: Indiana, Wisconsin, Purdue, and Iowa.
Iowa. When I watch,
imagine if they go 2-2.
Oh, that's solid.
They go 2-2. That's pretty solid to start. That's solid for that team. It'd be a good start.
Yeah.
That's our 3 big stories. We'll get to our guest now. He is, as we mentioned, our second time we've had him on, Jaylen Lloyd, wide receiver from the University of Nebraska and, of course, Omaha Westside. He joins us next here on Let It Fly Show. All right, welcome back to the Let It Fly Show. We are joined by Nebraska freshman, only in name now because he's got so much experience. He's not completely a freshman. Jaylen Lloyd joining us, Nebraska football wide receiver. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How about you?
We're doing well.
Every time I see this dude, he got more and more purpose on his face.
He's serious.
This dude is determined. Respect.
Yeah. How'd the season go? I mean, we talked to you before the season started, and I know you had your expectations and stuff, but how did it end up playing out compared to what you thought?
Well, going into the season, I had thought I was gonna play a lot. I felt like I worked hard in the summer, but then going into the season, we had a lot of playmakers, so it was going to be a lot of competition to get on the field. So I didn't really get the opportunities early, but then some of our big guys went down.
Yeah,
and us freshmen had to step up. Me, Malachi, and Jaden Doss.
So. Hearing you say that, my perspective is basketball. I remember when I was a freshman and I knew my potential. I knew how hard I worked. I knew what I could potentially do, but coach seen it different, right? So how humbling was it? How motivating was it? And how, did you digest that experience,
For sure. I think going into it is really hard. You go from a senior in high school where you the man on the team to
they use the man too.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta give you that.
Where you go to a freshman and everybody's done what you did already.
For sure.
So you just gotta work like you've done nothing, and then show them what you can do.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like over at Central when you guys become seniors, they give you the crowns because you're the king of the school, and then all of a sudden you ain't the king no more.
Right.
We were talking this before we got going. Your first catch against Michigan, 19 yards, your number. Did you realize that when you found out that it was 19 yards? That you had your first catch was your number?
I think I did. I think I had messaged my mom some about it.
Yeah.
What do you remember about it?
Well, I ran a lot of that route in practice a lot. This play called Indigo. It's just one of the best routes I did. Me and Jeff Sims had scored at practice or a touchdown on it in practice. So it was probably just easy go-to when I got in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you feel like in the game you was actually just trying to run for your life, not trying to trying to go as far as you can, It's like being a freshman, did you feel like man, I'm trying to make the biggest play possible. I'm trying to
stay on the field,
to stay on the field, or was it I just did my routine route, I caught it, I got tackled, it is what it was. What was that? What was it like?
I think it was more of just not running too far down the field, because in practice the route was supposed to be 14 yards. Practice,
right at 14.
Yeah. Practice I went like 16 and like they snapped. So I think that was like that was the most.
Yeah. I'll see my relationship
That's funny,
is I'll take a 3 and I'll look over my shoulder like, coach about to pull me.
No, that's the one. It's funny because that's one thing I don't think people think about is that it's precise, right? Because it's timing. Yeah. The offensive line's doing what they have to do. The quarterback, maybe he's even play action faking. You got to be exact.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get to that point, you think? How much practice does it take, you think, to get to that? And are you there?
Yeah.
Through your freshman year?
I would say I'm not completely there. It took me like halfway through the season to start really understanding that the quarterback's drop back and the receiver's steps really add up. Mm-hmm. So I think just learning that, and then that'll make me a better route runner.
They mirror each other.
What about the storyline of Nebraska? You guys have been like, it is what it is, like an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. From
positions to the overall game to locker room talks, and then just, you guys amongst the team. How did you guys stay like together, and did you guys look at social media? I know it's 2023, it's hard not to, but how did you guys stay focused regardless of the outcome and all the adversities that you guys went through?
For sure. I'd say, well, obviously you're going to see social media, but we didn't really care about none of that stuff. We had like a big family type of team. Everybody was super close with each other. All our quarterbacks was close. The receivers were close. We just made sure that every day we got better. We even had like film meetings, like the offense would meet together on a certain day when the coaches weren't even call us in.
On your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, especially after the Michigan game. I think Michigan game is kind of like.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Like, hey.
It's a wake-up call.
That's
call.
Yeah, Jaylen Lloyd joining us, Nebraska wide receiver. Of course, graduated from Omaha Westside. One of the conversations we've had with Anthony, Caleb, all talk about how that place makes you mature, right? Because of what the responsibilities they put on you. How did that help you going there before getting to Nebraska?
I would say it helped me a lot. At Central, didn't really have a receiver coach. So then when I got to Westside, Coach Rice, he helped me a lot on not just being fast, but learning how to run routes as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Learning how to just play the play is what our Nebraska coach would say.
Yeah.
So I think that helped a lot.
play the play.
Yeah.
You know who says it all the time is Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. He always says to play the play.
Mike Tomlin?
Today is today, tomorrow's tomorrow. Don't worry about what's happening. Just play the play.
That's biblical
all the
too,
time. All the time he says that, yeah.
Respect.
Yep.
What about it's the off season now. What type of work are you putting in? Like, I know there's a lot of guys, they say routine things to me. Like, they say things like, oh, man, I'm back at it, or the grind, or, like, what are you doing extra that's going to put you in the position of not just where you want to be, but where the team needs you to be next year?
Right. So my extra is, like, probably a little more extra than most football players, because I'm running track this year.
Yep.
Oh,
so
yep.
I'm trying to get bigger to like 185, but at the same time, I'm trying to work on my track. I'm working on sprinting right now and jumping while also lifting a lot. So
yeah, so you got the long jump, triple jump, and you're gonna try to run relays, or you're gonna try to run 100.
I'm trying to run 100.
Okay, you can qualify to be able to be a relay guy.
Yeah,
that'll be nice.
So you want to be like Carl Lewis?
Yeah.
Do you know who Carl Lewis is?
Yeah, he had recruited me at a high school.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Carl Lewis, what he did in the Olympics, still, that was one of when that happened, when he won the 4 goals, and it was kind of like what had happened with Jesse Owens, I remember thinking to myself, that's the most incredible thing in the world in 3 days.
I think about the bad national anthem.
Oh, yeah, I'm
playing, bro. I'm playing.
Let's not remember that at all. That was really bad. Yeah. I want to go back to your first touchdown. Walk us through that. It's against Purdue, right? What was the play call? Did you have an idea when the play was called that you had a shot to score on it?
Okay, so this is like early summer. We had this route called a launch, and Coach G came up to me and was like, Jaylen, if you run this route good. Yep.
Coach,
I'm sorry. Coach
That's
Garrett,
right. You're right.
He was like, if you run this route really good, you're going to play. So I'm like, I feel like I almost gotta like run it great. So then first time I ever ran it, it was like coaches like wowed. So then like later down the season, they had remember I ran that, and actually the day before in practice, I had ran 22.7 miles per hour.
Damn.
On that route.
Cheetah.
That's more than anybody in the league, in the NFL so far this year.
Yeah.
Cheetah.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then once we got to the game, they had called a timeout. I think we had just got a turnover. And Coach G was like, meet me in the end zone. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, we running that play.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to score on it.
Yeah. He told Coach Rule too, didn't he? Yeah.
My job was just to catch it.
That's awesome.
What about your quarterback conversations and situations? Like, that has to affect you a lot. You know, I think about guys I know personally that played college, high school. You know, I think back to Niles Paul. There were conversations he had to me about, like, differences with a quarterback versus great relationships with a quarterback or whatever. I know, like, overall everything is copacetic or whatever, but, like, what are you doing when it comes to the quarterbacks that you got on your team in order to build that camaraderie to actually get over the hump? You know, because the reason why I say that is because it's like a percentage of people are just Husker faithful, and you know they buy in and they trust the process, and then there's another percentage who are also I consider them still Husker faithful too. But they just more so, they're trying to, like, get back to them glory days. Right. Not necessarily revisit the past, but, like, they trying to put together some wins in a winning season. The quarterback is a big part of that or whatever. What's that locker room talk like with y'all team? Or how do y'all treat y'all quarterback? Or what is that type of energy like for the quarterback to prepare for a team like this?
Well, us receivers, we, like, I think actually the whole offense, we would never like judge our quarterback just because we know what they go through. We see what
it's tough.
They go through film with us, so we know what they got to look at, what they got to read, and sometimes it really don't be their faults. Like a route can be ran wrong, but like the media would never know that.
Right.
So it really just looks like it's the quarterback. So you got to take that in there.
Yeah. That's the type of stuff I'm asking.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jaylen Lloyd joining us, of course, Husker wide receiver on Let It Fly show. Because you were talking about how the mirror of the quarterback. Yeah. Some quarterbacks in a 5-step drop, it's short step.
Right.
Some it's 2 long steps, quick, short. How different was it catching passes from Heinrich Haarberg for the majority of the season and then from Chubba Purdy?
I would say it was not really a difference for me because like I worked with both of them in practice. Like Coach Rule does a good job of making sure
evenly
everybody gets the reps.
Yeah, that's what Coach Osborne was telling myself and Michael. Like getting back to same reps regardless if you play or not.
Yeah, having 4 stations.
So y'all do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, because you think sometimes, at least I know the backup quarterback's not getting as many of the first team reps, obviously.
Right.
But when Chubba came in there, it seemed like to me the offense started clicking a little bit more. And maybe because that was Heinrich looked to run more, I don't know. But was that a difference when you were running your routes of knowing that Chubba's back there is probably going to get out on time and maybe it wasn't for Haarberg?
I would say that I feel like it was kind of like the same for them.
Okay.
I would say Heinrich maybe had a few different play designs just because
his style of play.
Mm-hmm. So I think that might be what it was.
Yeah.
So what do you think about how should I put it? You played a year. I know you trust in the process. How much are you going to like trust the process versus like go in with a mindset like I love my teammates, but I'm actually trying to be definitively that guy next year, this year. Like I know that's the typical mindset of everybody who's going to the next year, but how realistic is that for you?
I don't think about stuff like that. I would say when I was at Central, that was like the mindset, like being that guy. Mm-hmm. Then you get to Westside and they teach you like it's like a we thing. Like we, if the team's gonna be good, it's gonna be we, not just you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think just learning that it helps you get better because if the whole team's improving, then like Coach Garrett would say, everybody touches everybody's money. So.
For sure, I feel that. Yeah.
Out of everything you do, and this is not me being critical, this is me caring.
Right.
Out of everything, your blocking is what you're going to obviously keep having to work on.
Right.
You want to get to maybe where Malachi is in terms of a blocker. Talk us through that. the complexity of having to block as a wide receiver and how you're doing and how you're getting better?
I would say that Coach Garrett, he emphasized blocking a lot.
Yeah.
If you look at most teams, the receivers don't block. But we block a lot. He said that's going to get us ready for the NFL.
Yep.
And you're not going to see a lot of like Marvin Harrison Jr., for example. I'm not trying to hate, but he doesn't like.
No, that's facts.
He doesn't block.
You speaking facts.
Yeah.
We'll go out there. And we're not scared to put our hands on anybody. Like we had to block linebacker, safety. Sometimes we got to chip a DM. So I think just put more body weight on me, make that a little bit better.
There'll never be an explosive run without a wide receiver making a block.
Right.
It's just impossible because somebody at the second level's got to get it, and you guys, that's you.
Yeah.
What was your welcome to college moment?
Yeah.
Not the 19-yard play.
Right.
But something that made me go.
Whether practice or in a game. Yeah.
That made you go, oh man, this is elite.
For sure. At practice, I had caught like a drag, and I was like close to the sideline. And John Bullock just came and like just lit me up, and I just flew like all the way out of bounds.
Like Jazzy Jeff. Yeah. When you say flew, I think
like cleats in the air, like.
Yeah. And you knew right then.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
No letting up at the sideline. No, I heard that. One of the biggest questions that people have, and maybe unfair, I don't know, is looking ahead to next year, who's the number one wide receiver? Like, is it important to have one? What do you think of that? Is it important to have a designated number one? And do you see that guy on the team right now? Yeah,
because that is still a part of, like, the we, you know?
Yeah,
like
sure.
Michael Jordan was the guy.
You got to have a one, yeah.
You know, but, like, in that aspect, is I'm only saying that's his reference. Like, not like being contradictory to what you said about the we mindset.
Yeah.
I would say that our veteran guys, just because they have the most experience, like IGC, if Marcus Washington come back, I would say those would be.
Yeah. You think Garcia Castaneda he's definitely gonna be back? Is he good with his? I know he had to get an appeal too. Okay,
I don't know all that.
Yeah. You're hoping he comes back. He would be your veteran. Right now, out of the guys we're playing at the end of the season, Bullock is the guy with the most receptions.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yeah.
So it's wide open for whoever could be, right?
Yeah. I think that's kind of good. It's just like a big competition. I always think about the time where I had talked to Coach Rule, and I was like, we were kind of like LSU in a way where they had Justin and Jamar and Terrace Marshall.
Yeah.
I feel like you got a little bit of that going.
Yeah. And Trey Palmer was just returning punts.
Yeah.
And you didn't see him, and now you're in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you got a relationship with Xavier Watts?
Yeah, for sure.
What you think about his accomplishment?
Oh, Xavier Watts.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking
not
about
Betts.
Oh,
Yeah, I do know. I do
Betts.
know Watts. Yeah, I think that's actually crazy to see.
Yeah.
I remember his first 2 years, he didn't play a lot, so I didn't really think like he would
do what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Like,
reason
it was,
why
like,
I bring
surprising.
him up is because you remind me of him. I watched this whole process, and he trusts the process.
Yeah, he did.
He got better every single year. He ended up in high school becoming the guy because of his extra work and playmaking ability, both
Right.
sides of the ball. And I'm sure there was times in college where he was discouraged, but just like any incoming freshman, you know, you trust the process.
Yep.
He really bought in. But then he ended up being where he's at today.
Yeah.
And I only mention that because don't you kind of see a lot of that?
Yep.
I'm just being honest.
Yep.
Like I think you got that in you.
Although he's, no offense to Watts, much more athletic. Because Xavier did a lot of stuff, and he didn't jump that high, he didn't run that fast.
But his is just
still,
hard work. But
he worked hard.
You are. That's factual.
Yeah.
That's no offense to him. You are more athletic.
Oh, yeah.
But the work that you putting in and your like mindset is very similar. And I'm just trying to send you encouragement, man, that like no matter like if it comes right now or later, it's coming.
Yeah,
Right.
no
You
doubt.
putting in the work.
You feel that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's. One of the big things also is that if you look at the portal compared to other schools, you don't see many guys leaving.
All right.
Should we look at that as people who watch the team and say that's because people are happy? It's because you guys, it's a healthy program? Is that why you think you haven't seen a whole bunch of guys running off?
I would say it's mostly because Coach Rule and the rest of the staff are going to keep it real with you. Like 100% of the times, most of the time, people get to colleges and it's not exactly what they thought it would be, or the things that were promised aren't really. It might have a little twist to it. I think Coach Rule keeps it real with us. What he says he means, and he's good at like getting the team together. So it's like one big family.
Like everybody on the same wave.
Yeah, everybody's on the same page at the same.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's not a situation where he told you one thing, but something else happened. He's
like the track situation. He's full.
He
on
said
with track.
you can do both of those, and it's good.
Yeah.
Because not everybody, Damon always tells a story about they told Coach Osmond told him he could play baseball too.
Yeah.
And he went to go play baseball. He's like, well, we want you at spring practice though.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there was no baseball. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool with that. So have you had a chance to talk to Dylan Raiola at all? Have you met him? Obviously, he's had a chance to be starting quarterback next year. Have you had a chance to talk to him at all?
I talked to him on his official visit. I was down in Lincoln. Mm-hmm. I was hosting Dylan Williams.
Oh, okay.
Committed to Oregon. Dylan Raiola, he's a good kid. He got his head straight where he needs to be. He wants to come in and win early.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
His dad is one of the most serious men I have ever known. Like, there's no joking when it comes to Dominic Raiola. He just doesn't play like that.
Yeah, for sure.
He terrifies me. I ain't gonna lie.
If you Google him, everything's a mug.
He's everything. There's no smiling, none of that stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was saying that it's an inside joke that we got. I'm like the Raiola whisperer, because, like, I've been consistent, right? I've been saying he coming ever since he left. And to see him there, we're actually excited just because we know the added value that he brings there, and the fact that they put him around somebody like you, I 100% believe that the vibe is right because he kind of got that same aura and demeanor that you have. Yeah. I mean, I can sense it for sure. Yeah. I'm excited for it.
But he's also a child of a great athlete.
True.
So, you're a child of a great athlete. That's just how you are.
No shame, bro.
That's how you. Oh no, he's like, nah, I don't know about that. So one of the cool things that I've noticed with college, obviously, is that everybody comes from a different high school, right? So there was always this great rivalry between Bellevue West and Westside.
Yeah.
Now you got all these Bellevue West people coming in. You got 5 Westside guys. Is there a competition you think there will be between the new wide receivers coming in your spot? Do you see that happening? I know it's we, but still, you still got somebody got to get on the field though.
Yeah, I think it's going to be competition regardless, just because where we're at as like a wide receiver group, we're pretty young.
Yep.
So everybody feels like they're going to.
Everybody feels like, I can go play.
Does Coach McGuire encourage that? He encourages the competition.
Got to. Yeah, that's good that he does that. Like, to me, basketball is my reference. Our rival was Bellevue West in high school. One of my teammates at Creighton, point guard.
Josh Tosin.
He and Antoine Young.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So they both came from Bellevue West, and it does bring like a competitive chip from high school. We do reflect on memories, talk about who got the best of who. But at the end of the day, though, like, I think that you would be blind if you didn't think they was coming in trying to compete.
Trying to take your job.
With that chip of the other school. So I feel where you're coming from.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I've always been fascinated by the triple jump.
Right.
Because it's not natural.
No.
Right? Running and jumping is natural. Running is natural. Throwing stuff is natural. But you had to like this and you got to do this. And how did you first get into it? And what do you think made you great at it?
I first started triple jumping when I was 3 years old.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know you said it before. It still blows my mind when you said that.
At the joint, or you just jumped down the stairs?
You gotta ask them that one.
She probably had you on a real track, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. And then when did you kind of take that step to where you knew you were going to be really good at it?
So like as a kid, I used to go to like nationals every year in track.
Where'd you run from again?
Boys and Girls Club.
Yep.
I'm
a club kid too. Yeah, that's what's up.
So I think I've always loved track. Like I was just always big on sports in general.
Yeah.
But track was like really different because they know a lot about track, and then like I'll go to like their room just to like
your
sit
parents.
there and chill. Yeah.
Yep.
And they'll be breaking down like some track film, and I just sit there and watch.
Around it.
Click.
For sure.
So now I feel like I'm almost like a better coach than my dad.
I respect that.
In track.
I can feel that. Yeah, it's
like
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like you understand the reads and if something is off because you heard it so much.
Yeah.
And him critiquing other people.
I can sometimes he asks me to break down like what do you think of this kid?
For sure.
And I tell him something like maybe he wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah.
So I feel like
man, that's good.
That's pretty awesome.
What do you feel like you think about what's the Olympic runner dude that was hating on USA basketball? Forgot his name.
Noah Lyles.
Yeah,
okay. I didn't hear that story. I didn't hear that story.
I'll tell you.
He was hating on Olympic basketball?
So it was a situation where
because they lost?
Nah, it wasn't even that. He just tried to say he don't understand the concept behind how the NBA says world champions when they win the NBA title.
I heard that. Okay, I didn't know he was the one that did it. Okay,
and the thing is, I feel where he's coming from like a logical perspective.
Yeah.
But the best players in the world.
And the best league in the world is here. Yeah.
Luka Doncic is not American.
No, he is not. No,
so is world.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
But anyway, he knew he was wrong, but it went viral. But my point is with that, like, if you had to choose, would you rather be an Olympic track runner or an NFL Hall of Famer?
So you just gold medal winning in the Olympics or playing in the NFL.
Like divide the family right here.
Yeah, ask that one more time.
Okay, so would you, if you had a choice, if you knew your conclusion, and you were going to end up being a gold medal winner in the Olympics, or you're going to be a, say, Super Bowl winner in the NFL, you only could choose one. Which one would you choose? Let me tell you, the money over here is ridiculous.
That's like a trick question. Like, did I get like MVP at the Super Bowl?
No, how about this?
So you wanted?
No.
He said Hall of Famer.
I said Hall of Fame.
So he said if you were Hall of Famer in the NFL or gold medal winner,
Hall of Fame NFL.
So you love
so you're really.
I feel like a Hall of Fame, the accolades would be a lot higher than just a gold medal.
Oh yeah,
that's like a debate conversation.
Here's the thing though: if you're the fastest man in the world. That is something that no one can take. Everybody, there's a list of like everybody that's ever been the fastest man in the world. And you're like, you know who that person is.
But me and my parents always had this discussion. Like, records can be broken.
Sure.
But those awards, those are forever.
They are facts. Very true.
Yeah, and I learned something about him right now. If you ask him the right question, the real him will come out.
Yeah, he was thinking.
He thought
he wanted all the details.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Give me. You're so busy, but hobbies? Anything? You gamer? You doing that?
Play a little bit when I be at home.
What do you play?
2K. I'm kind of like I don't like play 2K how other people play. I play like franchise mode. I like to kind of like.
So you play a whole season?
Yeah. I kind of like make like
by yourself
trades and like to rebuild a team.
So you're like a GM.
Yeah, I like to do that.
I'm kind of
sounds like a lot of work.
In college, for me, I used to like try to play the game on my downtime.
Yeah.
But like I just never really could get into sitting down and playing the game.
All right.
Yeah, you got so much to do.
You know,
you got classes to go to. How was your GPA?
I feel you.
Is that okay? Can I ask you your GPA?
Yeah.
What was your GPA?
I don't know, but it wasn't bad. So.
Yeah. Well, I know it was good because overall the football program was really good this year. Yeah, you guys did one of the highest
ones. So for me, it was like
ones.
we had 3 walk-ons that were super smart and to balance the team.
They got that APR up?
Yeah, you know. Yeah. But don't listen to me. C's get degrees. Don't listen to me. I'm just playing, bro.
Hey, man, we really appreciate you coming in again. First time, second guest, right?
We want you to keep coming back, bro. I feel like with you is like it's almost like a progress story.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like seeing you now, like you were very mature then.
Oh, yeah.
But you've grown a lot more. I can see the wisdom in you from your experience playing football. You got a plan of what you're trying to do moving forward for this summer coming up into the season. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. Like, it makes me more, like, excited to actually watch what the team's going to do.
Right.
Because I know if you doing this, I can imagine what your teammates is doing.
Right.
If they looking to you for, like, the guy to beat out.
It's tough when you know, like, so I'm kind of close to Tristan, and every time he missed a field goal, it like hurt. It broke my heart. I was like, I felt so bad because I know his grandfather. I know him. I'm like, I felt so bad. It's much worse when you know people. Sure. You know you guys. You know, so we're root for you, no doubt about
100%.
it. Yeah. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
No problem.
Thanks. That's a good interview with Jaylen Lloyd, man. Yeah,
I mean,
mature kid.
I got a lot of respect for him because he's determined.
Yeah,
and he know what he want to do, and he's super mature. You know, like, I mean, he's one of. It's not too many athletes that like are just nowadays with social media that's just straight about that action. Mm-hmm. Like he don't care about the bells and whistles or the flash. He got goals. He's driven, and obviously he's going to be successful. I just can't wait to see what he does. Track and football. Yeah,
it would be awesome to see that. Because that's the NFL now. They look for two sport athletes. That's the thing in the draft now.
Who did you say again? You said Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin Harris Jr.
Jaylen Lloyd.
And Jaylen Lloyd.
Great.
The only wide receivers in the Big Ten to have 3 plays over 50 yards.
We might not even know who we probably know who he is because we know him.
Yeah.
But we might not know who we actually around.
Mate, you never know. Greatness. Sometimes you're around. I remember Bud when Bud was just Bud.
Yep.
Bud wasn't Terrence Crawford, greatest of all time.
For sure.
And so same thing could happen. No one's ever, his dad told us this, nobody's ever long jumped or triple jumped.
There's 4 of them.
Long jump or triple jumped ever more than anybody else. Damn. But it didn't count in the records because it wasn't during the season. But he's out long jumped and triple jumped anybody in the history of Nebraska. So we'll see what happens in the Big Ten and how he does that. Right. So special thanks to Jaylen Lloyd for coming on with us, Nebraska wide receiver. Also thanks to our executive producer, Phil McLean, who brought the food.
Came through.
Although late. Brought the food and scheduled the guests. Speaking of that, next week, Baylor Shireman.
That'd be cool, man. I feel like I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
The season's here. He got a big role. I want to hear what he got to say.
Yeah. It's tough because I think about him in that Nebraska game where he couldn't miss.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge of sport, right?
Yeah.
One day you can't miss.
No doubt.
Next day you can't make.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. And that's what happened for him in that Villanova game. Also want to thank Phil McLean, I mentioned him, and King Val Elvis for running the board.
Yep. Thank you, bro.
No Meg here. Nobody. That's it.
It's peaceful.
It's peaceful.
No, boy. I ain't got nothing against Meg.
That's not true. Meg's awesome. She's awesome. No doubt about it. Also want to remind you, as always, never a bad time to give Omaha Steaks.
Yep.
We actually had a conversation, my wife and I, about looking to buy something for her dad.
Wow.
He's in St. Paul, Nebraska, just outside of Grand Island. And so what should we get him? Well, first of all, if you are a new customer and you order online right now, 30% off.
Dang.
Off your order.
And it's Christmas time.
Exactly. And if you order over $149 worth of stuff, it's free shipping.
Right.
We found the ultimate gift package, it's called.
So this is what you got him.
This week, it's ultimate gift with free shipping and dessert. You get 4 10-ounce boneless New York strips. You get a 16-ounce package of wild Argentinian red shrimp.
Dang.
You get boneless chicken breasts, boneless pork chops, gourmet jumbo franks, seasoning, everything, and a free chocolate molten lava cake.
Dang.
And shipping is free as well. So you get that if you want to find something really cool, and no one will be upset at you.
I thought about buying it for myself.
Nobody.
I was staring. If you go back and watch this, I was staring at the ground.
You're like, I could buy that myself. We want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. As always, we appreciate everybody that listens. Go on the YouTube page, like, subscribe, tell us what you think about the show. Sure. Wherever you listen to it, you can rate us. We want more people to listen, of course, but we appreciate everybody and wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Take us away, Josh.
Hey, it's Josh Jones here, back with Michael Severe. You know how we do it. It's a Let It Fly show.